Ms. Spanberger.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to everyone who's here. I proudly serve so many members of the intelligence community as their representative in Congress. And so on that note, I'd like to start with something that has impacted personnel. I'd like to
Can we
begin
reset the clock, please?
by saying that I appreciate the outreach that I have received from various agencies, knowing of my interest in this. And the conversation hopefully will continue in closed session. But in this unclassified document, I'd like to just ask for comments on the fact that it literally says what to me are somewhat contradictory statements in one paragraph, noting it is unlikely that a foreign actor, including Russia, is conducting a sustained worldwide campaign involving hundreds of incidents, it continues, related to anomalous health incidents. Further in the paragraph, it says the IC continues to actively investigate the AHI issue, focusing particularly on a subset of priority cases for which it has not ruled out any cause, including the possibility that one or more foreign actors were involved. There's a lot of consternation among those who have been impacted by AHI. I appreciate the work that you all are doing in making sure people are having their health needs met. But would anyone like to comment on what appears to be, by my reading, somewhat contradictory statements in one small paragraph?
Okay, I'll start. No, thank you very much, Congresswoman. I think there is no question, while as the analysis that you're looking at indicates that that as a general matter, across the IC, most IC elements now have concluded that it is very unlikely that a foreign adversary is responsible for the reported AHIs. And there are different degrees of confidence associated with that. And then you have some that look at it as unlikely that a foreign adversary essentially have done this part. At the same time, and this is sort of where our work continues, and there's no question that that we see this as a continued priority for us, is that we are going to be and continue to be vigilant about looking for information that undercuts those assumptions, because we recognize there are gaps here. We are going to continue to focus on trying to understand essentially what it is that we can do to help the folks that have experienced these very real symptoms and these issues, and to figure out what's happening to each of them. And as we look at the experts panel that went through a process to look at different mechanisms that might in fact be causing different symptoms, issues, and so on, they had recommendations on research and development that would continue to go forward, and that is something that we are also pursuing. And any remaining questions that we have are things that we are looking to try to ensure that we're focused on moving forward.
So we're currently at a point, is it correct to say, where this is a point in time analysis and the door is very much open and the investigation very much continues, that there could be a reversal or not of new information that would cause a new assessment that might differ from what we've seen thus far?
Yeah, I guess what I would say, Congressman, first, I have huge respect for your service at the agency as well and to the intelligence community. And I'd say several things. None of us are pretending that I think the thorough and rigorous work that was done reflected in the intelligence community assessment none of us are pretending that that's absolutely the final word in this.
Good.
We will sustain a dedicated unit of officers at CIA working with our partners in the intelligence community, not just to be alert to any new leads that could develop, but to follow them rigorously. We will also continue to focus with our partners on research and development efforts by our adversaries that could focus on directed energy mechanisms as well. The only things I would add is, first, from the day I began as director of CIA more than 2 years ago, I've tried hard to understand the significance of this issue. It's not an abstraction. It's about real people suffering, real health conditions and real pain in the service of their country. And so we made fundamental improvements in the level and access to care. They will not diminish. We remain committed to, supporting all of our workforce as well, and we'll continue to do that.
Thank you. If I may pivot quickly, because I will want to continue the conversation related to this in closed session, related to fentanyl trafficking, which is impacting communities across the country, but certainly within Virginia. Can you update the committee on your efforts to combat cartels and the trafficking of fentanyl that we have seen to be so lethal within the United States?
I'd be glad to start, Congressman, and Congressman, I'll bring this back to the 702 issue too, because it has been a crucial tool in our efforts at CIA to collect foreign intelligence and enable our partners, whether it's in Mexico or in our domestic partners in the United States, to take action to help protect Americans against the fentanyl crisis. I'll give you a couple of broad examples anyway. One is first I should say, we've transformed our approach at the agency to how we look at this issue, to focus on networks, meaning precursor chemicals, financial flows, the
Precursors coming in from China, where else
China
going
and
to
elsewhere,
South America?
and then also fentanyl, production and processing equipment as well. 702 has been crucial in illuminating that network for us and therefore enabling us, for example, just in the last few months, to work with Mexican partners to take some very successful actions against the Sinaloa cartel, and then also in another instance, enable us to work with other partners to take significant action against fentanyl production and processing equipment in Mexico and in the United States.
Degrading equipment and those networks?
Yes.
Thank you for that update, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.